Good morning and welcome to the Morning Outlook. I'm James Preston reporting to you live from Kalkine's Sydney TV studios. In this show we're going to bring you up to date with all the overnight action to get you prepared for how the day's trades might unfold. And as part of that, it's important to take a look at news that could impact markets. So let's take a look at today's top stories. In the fight against COVID, the federal government has now quadrupled its sotrovimab imports from 7,000 to 30,000 units. The drug, which is designed to fight the effects of long COVID in particular, has shown promising Phase 3 trial results, effectively reducing symptoms of COVID-positive patients. The drug will be targeted at patients with asthma, diabetes, heart failure, obesity, kidney and lung disease, and those over the age of 55. It's the first treatment of its kind in Australia, and it's being viewed as a primary treatment moving forward for those who are immunocompromised or unvaccinated. Sotrovimab is an investigational human-neutralising dual-action monoclonal antibody which has been developed by British pharmaceutical group GlaxoSmithKline in conjunction with VIR Biotechnology. And Apple is in a battle with European Union regulators after the EU made the move to standardise charging of smart devices. The European Union aims to have a common charging port for mobile phones, tablets and headphones under a European Commission proposal. The move has been more than 10 years in the making, with the European Union executive touting environmental benefits and €250 million worth of annual savings for consumers. Under the Commission's proposal, a USB-C connector will become the standard port for all smartphones, tablets, cameras, headphones, portable speakers and handheld video game consoles. Chargers would also be sold separately from electronic devices. Time now to take a look at our markets, beginning with the ASX. And Aussie shares finished higher for a third day, with the ASX 200 lifting by 1%. This was the largest improvement in close to 2 months for the local market. It was also enough to recoup most of Monday's significant declines, while still keeping the market on track to end an 11-month winning streak. All eyes yesterday morning were on the US Central Bank's 2-day meeting on policy, which wrapped up at 4 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. The Federal Reserve outlined its timetable for potentially reining in stimulus and raising rates. Chair Jerome Powell signalled he could announce further details on tapering asset purchases as soon as November. While the US dollar rose and the Australian dollar softened, share markets improved strongly. Easing concerns of default for China's second largest property developer, Evergrande, together with an injection of funds into China's financial system by its central bank, has also helped to calm investors' nerves. Over the past 24 hours, Evergrande said it had successfully negotiated interest repayments due today with some of its lenders. With other bond payments due in coming weeks, some level of uncertainty still remains. Premier Investments posted its 2021 financial year results yesterday. Global sales had risen by 18.7% and online sales by 36.4%. Net profit close to doubled to $271.8 million. And record sales at Peter Alexander helped push earnings even higher. Due to COVID-related lockdowns, however, sales have fallen by 9.5% over the first 7 weeks of the current financial year. Cochlear managed to edge higher by 0.43% despite trading ex-dividend. Sandfire entered a trading halt and announced the $2.5 billion acquisition of a Spanish copper mine, which it said has a mining life of approximately 12 years. Both Brickworks and Washington's H. Soul Pattinson rose after handing down their earnings report. Revolver Resources rose by 17.5% on its market debut, and it's mainly a copper exploration company focused in Queensland. Gold explorer Iris Metals jumped by 5% on its first day of trade on the ASX, and the ASX itself saw 5.5 billion shares changed hands yesterday, worth 8.8 billion Aussie dollars. Tokyo's stock exchange is also in the spotlight, having closed yesterday for the Autumn Equinox Day public holiday. In what has been a holiday-interrupted week across the region, all markets are set to resume normal trading today. And as for tonight, the Bank of England is set to hold a monthly meeting. Key updates on the state of manufacturing in the UK, European Union and also in the US will be released. And we'll take a look at the latest from the US and delve into the European share markets on the Morning Outlook in just a moment. Stay with us here on Kalkine TV.
Hi, I'm Sage, and get ready to take the crypto ride with me on Kalkine TV. Watch the Crypto Buzz every Tuesday and join the excitement at Kalkine TV. From Bitcoins to NFTs to Dogecoin and DeFi, we have updates about everything around these digital currencies. Understand the investing rationale and the risks involved in the space with me, Sage, on Crypto Buzz. Keep watching Kalkine TV.
Welcome back. Great to have your company for the Morning Outlook exclusive to Kalkine TV, where we provide you with all the information you'll need for a successful day of trading. Let's now turn our attention to the United States. In US economic data, initial jobless claims rose by 16,000 last week. The Flash Market Purchasing Managers Index for manufacturing eased in September. The services PMI fell in September overall. The Chicago Fed National Activity Index eased slightly in August, while the Kansas City Fed Factory Index fell from 29 to 22 throughout September. The leading index rose by 0.9% in August. European share markets were mostly higher on Thursday. The Pan-European Stocks 600 index rose by 0.9%, with bank stocks up by 2.2%. The German DAX index also gained 0.9%, but the UK FTSE index fell by 0.1% after the Bank of England said the case for higher interest rates appeared to have strengthened after it lifted its inflation forecast for the year. In London trade, shares in Rio Tinto rose by 0.4%, but BHP shares were little changed. US share markets climbed on Thursday as investors shook off concerns over the US Federal Reserve's tapering plans. Shares of IT services provider Salesforce.com jumped by 7.2% after it raised its annual earnings forecast. Accenture shares added 2.5% after the IT consulting firm boosted its first quarter outlook. A strong quarterly earnings report boosted the shares of Darden Restaurants. Devon Energy shares soared by 7.8%, with oil prices also lifting. The Dow Jones index rose by 1.5%. The S&P 500 index gained 1.2%. And the Nasdaq index added 1%. US Treasury yields jumped on Thursday after the US Federal Reserve opened the door to raising interest rates as early as next year. The US Treasury sold US $14 billion worth of 10-year Treasury inflation-protected securities into very strong demand. US 10-year yields lifted by 1.43%, and US 2-year yields rose by 2 points to near 0.26%. Major currencies were mostly stronger against the US dollar in European and US trade. The euro was near $1 and 17.4 cents at the US close, while the Aussie dollar was near 73 US cents at the US close. However, the Japanese yen fell to near 110.31 yen at the US close. Global oil prices lifted on Thursday. US crude, jumped to the highest in nearly 2 months, with a stronger, broader market, while investors focused on declining global stockpiles. The Brent crude price rose by $1 and 6 cents, or 1.4%, to $77 a barrel, and the US NYMEX crude price added $1 and 7 cents, up by 1.5%, to trade at US $73.30 a barrel. Base metal prices were mostly higher on Thursday. Tin pushed towards a record high as supply began to tighten. Copper fell by 0.2%, and the gold futures price fell by $29 an ounce, or 1.6% to US $1,749.80 an ounce, with spot gold trading near $1,746 an ounce at the US close. Iron ore lifted by $1 and 35 cents a tonne to trade at 1.3% to $108 and 90 cents a tonne, as traders expect China's peak autumn demand to support the steelmaking raw materials rebound. Well, that's all for our morning Outlook report here on Kalkine TV. Have a great day trading, and stay tuned for more market updates and economic news live throughout the day. This is James Preston signing off for now.